Drop a Line is doing something a little bit different tonight. Usually we talk about books, but tonight we are talking about good food. As you know, some of you may know, I am vegan, and I discovered a wonderful, wonderful vegan recipe recently, thanks to our friend Jamar. Jamar is with us tonight. He is the founder of Lost in the Sauce. Please welcome Jamar Saunders. And we are live with Jamar. How are you tonight, friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy we could meet up and do this show tonight because I got to tell you, your food brand you got going there was one of the best parts of my weekend. Got to say,
Thank you.
everything, as stressful as everything gets, if I can sit down with some good food, I am happy. And I got to say, your sauce is exquisite.
Thank you so much. It's great to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I also, of course, appreciate what a wonderful gift it was. Thank you for sending that gift in the mail and agreeing to be here tonight. So I think that it is really, hey, Ariel, what's up? Thank you for joining us on YouTube. We are so appreciative. Thank you. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do hit subscribe at One True Promotion. We really want to drive up these numbers. So, Jamar, you are a businessman. You are the founder of Lost in the Sauce, LLC. And I have a little bit of experience being a co-founder of One True Promotion myself. I know that business can begin with an idea, and then you can move into infrastructure and marketing and et cetera. So I'd just like you to take me back to how the idea came about.
Well, I remember me and you met at the author and art extravaganza. It was before then. So this was my business beforehand, before even, working with marketing and stuff like that. So I started in 2017. I made my first sauce. And it happened like this. So we pretty much what we did, we created a sauce that wasn't kind of created yet. So a lot of sauces, they're either, if it's good for you, either it's really bland and flavorless or not enough heat, or if it's tasty, it's usually too much sodium. So at the time, I was going on a little bit more of a health kick, like going more keto and going more towards healthier options. But I looked in the aisles, too much salt or was too less flavor. So what we did with Lost in the Sauce is we pretty much created a spice blend within a condiment, with no more than 20 milligrams per serving, and a serving is about 1 tablespoon. So it allows you to amp your food up and have delicious cuisine and food at home. It's vegan, keto friendly, and also low sodium. So grandma can even enjoy.
Oh man, that is absolutely amazing. And I love those details because there's so many things I miss when I'm shopping. There's so much research I haven't done in the hustle and bustle of daily life. And it's research really we all should do. You should know what you're putting in your body, right?
Yep.
But it's research that I often don't do. So hearing about how you kind of inspected the market and realized that something was missing, that's awesome. And I can definitely guarantee that there are many of us out here who take great value in a product that is delicious but also healthy.
Absolutely.
So that was how you got the idea. Now, can you kind of walk me through the early days of how the company came about?
All right. So at first we started so it wasn't a company at first at all. How it really started was I bought my own hot sauce to work, right? And I had my own bottle of hot sauce in the refrigerator, the work fridge. And then one day, one of my friends pulls out, like, whose sauce is this? They're like, can I try some? And I was like, all right, whatever, just try some. And they all tried it. I was like, this is some of the best sauce I ever had. So I kind of got forced into business, and they pretty much paid like $10 for the price. And they're like, how many more you got home? And I got 8 more, and it became more of a supply to demand. And after that, I started selling I had my launch at Williams-Sonoma. So I had my first launch at Williams-Sonoma, and then pretty much it went from there.
Right, absolutely. I'm such a nerd because everything I know about business literally comes from Breaking Bad. And you know, how much product do you have on hand? Like, so how many pounds? But we're not talking about drugs here. We're talking about delicious vegan sauces, which I think is a little bit better. But good show,
Exactly.
though, gotta say. but, but for
You-
sure. So um, that is so cool, though. And I noticed that in one of the photos you shared, which was part of your intro, there were a couple people joining you behind the sauces. Are those and I apologize if you answered this already, but are these longtime friends or are these business partners you made along the way? Or
they're long time friends.
nice.
And what I did pretty much with them, I taught them, being a CEO, sometimes you can't do everything. So you
Mm-hmm.
got to train people and scale your business, and you need more time to build the brand, not just be a product, but you need more time to build a brand.
Right.
So what they allowed me to do by taking on some of the roles I used to do everything, they allowed me to work more on the marketing, more on the labels. So a lot of people don't know these labels, there used to be paper. So
Mm.
the first loss of sauce labels, we printed them out on paper from our printers, and we glued them to glass bottles.
Right. Right.
And now we have waterproof removable film labels, so you can actually take off the label. You can stick it on something else if you want, and there's no residue, and you can completely reuse the bottle if you want. Everything's almost completely recyclable.
Right. That's
So
awesome. That's awesome. There's just so many environmentally friendly benefits to how you're doing business. There's so many health benefits,
yeah,
and again, the sauce is absolutely wonderful. My favorite was the mango pineapple. That was the one that I've been putting. I told you before the show started. I put on three different. There it is. There's my
there it
baby right
is.
there. There it is. I love it. Oh man. I'm gonna have to get some after this show. I put it on three different sandwiches already. It's crazy. Um, I'm curious about the process of making sauce and synthesizing ingredients and flavors and things like that. Do you want to go into any of that?
All right. So when it comes to making sauce, right? So a
Hmm.
lot of people, the condiment industry is science. So if you're a chemistry nerd or you're a biology nerd, you enjoy this. You know what a pH balance is, right?
Hmm.
So when you're doing condiment industry, you're doing hot sauce industry. If you want to be included as an acidic food, which is what hot sauce is a condiment, you got to be below 4.6 pH.
Hmm.
So one thing you got to do is make sure your pH is low enough so it could be preserving itself. And then after that, you got to think, all right, what do I want it to taste like? So let's start out with the peri peri right here.
Hmm.
So this is one of our most robust flavored sauces. It's a medium temperature, has a bunch of herbs and spices in it. Let me read off some of the spices and stuff. So it uses the peri peri peppers, right? We got roasted bell peppers in here. We use some cinnamon here. We use cardamom, which is a good background taste, very earthy. We use ginger. We use smoked paprika, garlic powder, and we use oregano and basil and parsley right here. We use all that in here, and we use red wine vinegar. So we don't just use white distilled vinegar. A lot of other sauces use white distilled vinegar, but what we wanted to do is add some quality ingredients to sauce. And what it does is you can add as much as you want, and it can give you as much flavor as you want, without being too much. It's every flavor is complementary because we're not adding sodium. You ever add something with too much salt in it, and it
Yeah.
may ruin the whole meal?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Absolutely.
So, and that's what we wanted to stop and prevent.
Yeah, my mother-in-law just the other day was talking about how there's too much sodium in some of the things they've been buying. So my father-in-law offered her a drink, and she said, "No, I'm going to have my sodium with dinner." And she turned it down. So, it's a serious thing, though. Like it's not as big a deal when you're young, but to have great tasting low sodium products, it's like people can just kind of crack that open and relax, right?
Exactly. And a lot of people who don't know how to cook very well, it's great for them because you could use this peri peri, for instance. You can use this to marinate for your chicken, for your ribs. So let's say you got the grill, you're not
Hmm.
vegan, right? So
Hmm.
you might want to be like, hey, I want to put this on my ribs to marinate. And then you let it marinate overnight. You got all that flavor, all that basil, all that oregano, all that parsley. It brings everything out. Then you cook it on the grill, you smoke it. and you add some barbecue sauce to it, and there you go.
And there you go is right. Jamar, this is awesome. I love talking food. I've never talked food before on
Yeah.
Top Line, but I think that this is absolutely fantastic. Off camera, it is actually one of my favorite subjects. One of the things that really fascinates me is you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned brand building. And the thing is that the very first time I tried to publish a book, the first thing the guy said to me is that he wanted to build me a brand. And at the time I looked at him, I'm like, I'm nodding my head. I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But inside, I'm like, I don't really know what that means. I'm hoping he does. Like what fascinates me is that it's such a quintessential part of all business, whether you are
Exactly.
an author, whether you are a poet, an artist, a food vendor, a cook. I mean, what, how would you describe your business brand? And what was the process of creating it like?
So I'm a very numbery guy, very methodical person. So for me to build a brand, I actually had to call in a friend. Her name is Shayana. She's a graphic designer. We are longtime friends, knew each other from like high school. So we sat down and I said, "Hey, Shayana, I really need help getting a logo, but I don't want just a cheap logo. I want something that could fit anybody. Because a lot of times people name their brand after themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted a brand. So pretty much one thing I realized, even you write stories, you have great books. So you know how to write a storyboard, right? And
Mm-hmm.
usually in the story you see the hero, a guide, internal struggles,
Mm-hmm.
external struggles. So I'll take the same thing with building a brand. You gotta think about you're not the hero. When your brand, you're not the hero of your brand. Your customers are. You're just a guide. So everything I do is for the customers. I'm just guiding the customer to flavor. Pretty much the hero is looking for he's in the market. The hero is looking for something to cook for his wife. His external struggle is his wife is angry because they haven't had good food. They're on a healthy diet, right? They're
Uh-huh.
trying to get well fed. He's feeling his internal is he's feeling a lot of pressure. He's feeling anxiety. He needs some help. So the guy is saying, "Hey, we have low sodium on all natural sauces that are good for vegan diet." So
Mm-hmm.
we're pretty much pointing him in the direction to solve his problems. And by purchasing the sauce, he is solving all those problems. But with building a brand, one main thing you got to realize is, all right, let's look at Johnson and Johnson, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get a vaccine and for baby products?
Right.
So that's what the power of a brand. If you got a brand, let's say Lost Sauce, we get a catering company out of nowhere,
Uh-huh.
right? So if everybody in your family is using Lost Sauce, you're like, yo, what are you using? You ain't using Lost Sauce in the household. And then out of nowhere, you see a Lost in the Sauce restaurant, you would probably go because you're sold on a brand. A brand is something you can trust. It's something you can
That's right.
see. Like you see Target, right? All the products in Target you trust because you trust the brand Target.
Right.
Target wouldn't steer you wrong, and that's the
Yeah.
power of a brand. And
That is-
Target said, "Hey, we're not the hero. We're not. It's not about us selling you stuff and having good products. We are a convenient location with almost everything you need, department wise. You can get everything for your home here. You can save time, and everything here is lovely, and it'll look great in your home. It'll look great in your fridge. We're here for you."
That is an
So,
amazing, amazing brand and mission statement. I absolutely love just how you've told me the story of your brand and your company,
yeah.
really. And I love the way you put it to me as a story. And you said that the customer is the hero of the story. This is meant to be because I was driving home today, thinking to
Mm-hmm.
myself how, I've up until this point in my career, I've done a lot of, I've talked a lot about why I think these stories are great and why I got into these stories. But driving home today, I started to think to myself, I really want to start shifting gears to what can these characters do for real people? You know what I mean? It's about the reader. It's about if you open up this book, you are going to have an experience that is stimulating, that takes you on a journey, that ultimately leaves you feeling better than before you opened it. And I was kind of thinking about how to do that with a story. And I just love how, I'm thinking about this on the way home. And then I come here, I meet with you, and you talk about how the hero of your story are the customers. I just think
Yep.
that is a marvelous brand. I mean, I can tell you that I was There's quality assurance. I was very, very pleased as soon as I tried it.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind, we can even talk about Apple, right? So you ever watch an Apple commercial?
Sure.
They're doing like, all right, so they go to different personas. They have people in Starbucks on their laptops, they have kids, they have all types of personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things we are next for the commercial we're going to be making, we're going to be taking that too. So we might have in our 50 or 30-second commercial, we might have someone writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
We might have somebody skating. We might have a family together. But all these images is going to represent our brand.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be like, wow, that author is using that hot sauce. That
Mm-hmm.
healthy person is using that hot sauce.
Yeah,
That family is using that hot sauce. You know what? I fit in one of those groups. Let me get some hot sauce.
that's awesome.
And it's kind of like a trailer for your life when you look at commercials, and that's how they be doing it. You ever
That's
seen a dog commercial and they're
yeah.
washing everything but dishes?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
like, wow.
I know it. I know it. Yep.
Yeah,
That is
it's
so cool.
genius.
It is. It is for sure. I never really thought about it that way either, but it really it speaks to a lot of what makes what makes for successful networking.
Yep.
Speaking of networking, as you said, I first met you at the Arts and Authors Extravaganza, and you had
Yep.
introduced yourself as a businessman growing your brand. And I'm curious about how it's been for you networking at different venues, and whether or not it's been particularly challenging, or if it's been or if you found a lot of events that you feel that your product is stands out at. How has networking been for you?
All right, so network for me has changed. Oh, so with the arts and authors extravaganza, right? So when I
Mm-hmm.
did that, I was going through a big life change.
Mm-hmm.
I was Nothing was going right at that point in my life, right? So I couldn't even afford to start my hot sauce business. But what I was doing at that time, I was using the time to study marketing, and I literally sold marketing services. That's what I did at first. I got a lot of connections. I made networking, but with the hot sauce wise, at first I started out at pop up shops,
Mm-hmm.
which you start to realize that pop up shops are good for a little bit. You start to get your name out. They're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so iffy. It You never know what's going to happen. You can't. It's not very. You can't like say, all right, this is going to be the one. I'm going to make it here. Then we start being at farmers markets at Cowtown, New Jersey, and
Mm-hmm.
Paul Groves, New Jersey. We're there every Saturday. We
Mm-hmm.
start making some great money, and our revenue starts going into the thousands monthly. And then I said, all right, the summer's open. We need to do festivals, and
Mm-hmm.
these festivals cost $300 to $500 to $800, right?
Yep.
Sometimes 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big leap for a new business, and your capital is coming right out your pocket, not like your business can't afford it. So, we did a festival, right? And we made some great money. Like, let's say in like 3 hours, we made $1,000, right? We
Wow.
made in one day of festival, we made as much as we would make in a month of Cowtown. And
Which
then
festival was that?
we went to a wine festival.
Wow. How about?
So wine festivals are great. Going to festivals is the best thing you can do. You know why? Because I don't know if you ever read or listen to Grant Cardone. He tells you how to sell. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things is you got to create urgency. So with festivals, you're saying, hey, I might never see this vendor ever again,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have that on your side. They're like, I'm not going to see him ever again, but Cowtown, I'm going to see you next week. It's all here. I'm going to see you next week. But there, you're like, I may not see him anymore. This may be an exclusive deal. So you got a lot of people buying. So you got to get in those best positions to get that emotional purchases. And one big thing we started doing was this. If you followed me on Facebook, I kind of like do funny memes or business tips, right? Both of them.
Yeah.
So one big thing was, all right. So we did an ad on Instagram. I paid $1,500 for ad. It gave us an article, and it gave us a interview too. So it gave us the article, an interview, and it let us post something on their Instagram for forever. And it was over 1 million followers on this account. and it's a pretty much the We Buy Black account,
Mm-hmm.
right? They put us on there, and we made that month. We made $4 grand only online
That's amazing.
from a $1,500 investment,
Four
and
online.
then we got over 300 subscribers to our email.
That's awesome. 300 subscribers to your email. That's amazing. That
Yep.
really is amazing. It's amazing to hear about how your business has grown so
Yeah.
exponentially. Um, that's amazing. That's just amazing. Wow.
We're trying to do Hulu ads next, though, too. Hulu ads.
That's awesome.
So we're they want a commercial, and I was gonna get someone locally, so we're gonna see how it works out. And if it works out really well locally, we're gonna post a Hulu ad, and it's only gonna be targeted to people with food.
That's awesome. That's really,
Yeah.
really, really good. What is the process of taking out an ad on a service like Hulu?
So pretty much you just go to Hulu. They got a self ad service. They do got requirements for the video. You turn in the video that's 15 to 30 seconds long. They'll make sure it meets the requirements like HD. It has to be really high quality. They'll check it, and you should hear a response in 72 hours. It costs about $500 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is they play it during like shows that would fit your audience.
That's
Also,
awesome.
iHeartRadio does ads too for a little, like about 1,000. If your
Wow.
weekly budget is $1,000, they'll do
Yeah.
it for about a week for only 1,000.
All right. That's awesome. And
Yep,
I'm so glad that you've grown to the point that you're able to start doing those things.
exactly.
It's like as your business grows, you are able to make bigger investments.
Exactly. And what I do too is I would say half the business pays and I'll pay out the other half just to, keep the money in there. But a lot of times I'm starting to realize business would have went a lot faster if I wasn't hard headed and I didn't if I would have paid earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta sometimes you gotta be like, all right, I know I got a vacation to go to. This
Mm-hmm.
vacation is $1,500, but I want to give up $1,500 for my business.
Right.
And you see, I made $4 grand, so I could have still went on that vacation.
Yeah.
But if I would have never put the $1,500 down, I would have never made the $4 grand and got all those customers that are consistent.
Right. No, it's absolutely true. It's just it's so encouraging to hear that you have
Yeah.
this consistent consumer base, and especially for a product that they can use up and they're going to want to restock. You know what I mean? Like when you're an
Yeah.
author, I feel like you need to continue producing you need to, not that you need to continue producing new product, of course, but when you're an author, like, it's not always likely that you're going to have book repurchases for like family and friends. You know what I mean? Like it's always so much about just like trying to sell that particular story to as many people as possible, which is why it is so, it's so fascinating to see you make that big leap with a product that people are going to want to stay on the market. I think that is just so, that's great for you. You know what I mean? I'm really happy for you. And it's amazing
Exactly.
that you were able to take advantage of those festivals. And, I love what you said about how people are worried they might not see you again. Because I understand that. It's like, when am I going to have an opportunity to buy this again? It's worth it.
Yep. And if they all right, and what I do too is always offer a deal in person. So let's say you see my vouchers, you see Hot Sauce Summer, the promo code is 20% off. At these festivals, I was giving 30% off. And what I had people do was I gave out the vouchers and let people know, hey, my table's over there for up to 30% off. That way you was like, I cannot. And just need emotional buying is what you need.
That's right. That's right. Emotional buying. I agree with that 100%. This is an awesome conversation. We're really, I feel like we're bringing two worlds together in a way, two different businesses. And I love that we're identifying things about the business we do that are similar, and that kind of support each other. I think that's absolutely great. I tell you, I would absolutely love to bring one of your sauces to a book signing, you know what I mean, and sit next to you and be like, you want a book? You can get something nice to eat. I mean, I love doing business like that. You know what I'm saying? It's how we can all help each other.
Funny part is, I'm actually writing the book too right now.
Awesome.
So you guys motivated me at the Arts and Authors Extravaganza. You're like, you should write a book. Everybody said it. I was like, are you sure? Because I was given a good amount of knowledge. So I'm writing a self-help book for young. So my age group is pretty much like 16 to 25.
Good.
And things I wish I knew sooner or something like that is gonna be like the title. And what it's gonna teach is enrichment, but also it's gonna teach some financial things as well. It's gonna teach how to budget. It's gonna save them so much time. They're gonna be like, it's gonna be the basics pretty much of adulthood in one book. And that way, yep, exactly. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah. To go back to our conversation earlier about brand building and building your brand as a story and thinking about who the protagonist of your story is, I think that is such a great title. Things I wish I knew sooner. You know what I mean? Like that's a title that somebody might be saying to themselves, you know?
Exactly. That's why I got it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. So tell me a little bit about the process of writing the book. Has that process begun?
It has. I've outlined it, and I got the first chapter done, and it took me forever to start because it was just always it's something new. When something's new, you got like we all lack confidence in things we do new.
That's right.
And we just gotta leap. Sometimes we gotta realize just do it, edit it more, critique it. You know, it's a process.
It is, and you get so, I know from experience, you get so caught up into processes. Like I've been trying to design a writing schedule for years, and to really get a book done, I try to fall into that day in and day out. So if you turned around and asked me to help you cook up a sauce, I'd be like, or rather, if you asked me to do that on my time and say, hey, make this for me, I might be like, at some point, I'm going to get to that other thing, you know? Like
Exactly.
Yep. So that's totally understandable. That is cool, though. I hope you do keep in touch as you're going through the process of writing it with Andrew and I. You know, if we can ever give you tips on how we got through. Oh, we seem to have lost Jamar. We'll bring him back. Don't worry, everybody. In the meantime, why don't we do this quick little ad for the show you're currently watching? This is Drop a Line. For those of you who don't know, anybody can get an interview anytime. You can join us just by contacting me, and I'll put you on the calendar. Here's a quick ad. And we are back with Jamar. Welcome back, Jamar.
I'm so sorry. It just said click. I was like, whoa, that was clean too.
It was clean, wasn't it? Listen, I don't know if you noticed earlier, but when you were giving your original brand pitch, I actually made a mistake on my end. This never happened to me before, but I made a mistake with what I clicked, and I booted myself out of the call. And as I was coming back in, since I'm the host, I was like, oh my goodness, I hope I did not just cut the broadcast.
It happens, man. It happens.
It totally does. It totally does. We're good. We're good. But yeah, as I was saying, I hope you'll keep in touch with Andrew and I if we could ever help you out at all with the process and tell you some things that we learned. We'd both be happy to. That is what One True Promotion is all about. That's our story. Andrew and I formed it as a company that lifts up each other and promotes each other as we fulfill our dreams to be authors. And, you know, we both are adamant about lifting up everybody in our community as well. So.
Yeah, I've been following Andrew for a while now. You don't probably realize I'm following him. He's talking about all the pages he'd be writing and how many words he'd be writing a day. I'm like, you know what? I gotta get on that level.
Andrew really is inspiring. For the longest time, he wasn't sure if he wanted to pull the trigger on it. And I had already begun publishing myself in 2017. Was when my first book came out. And Andrew was one of my best supporters. He came to me to all of my book signings. You met us together at Arts and Authors. He was just there that day to support me. And I kept telling him, you know, you should pull the trigger, man. And when he decided he wanted to just get out there and start making it happen, I was amazed just watching him day by day with his 365-day challenge, with the word counts he racked up by jumping into the editing process and marketing process the way he did. It was just, I was amazed. I was simply amazed.
It's usually the overthinkers that be like overthinking it do very well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
And I take it as I offer that to everybody as just like, an encouraging tale. Everybody has this voice in their head that says, what if I can't do it? What if I don't have the time? What if I don't have the ability? What if something happens? Everybody has that voice in their head, but as soon as you pull the trigger, you learn things about yourself,
And that's the best discovery is always self-discovery, I heard.
That's right. That's right. What are a couple things you learned about yourself that you didn't know before you started all of this?
I always thought I was an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm so introverted. I used to think I was dry. I had no charisma at all. And somehow, things start gravitating towards me. People start building relationships with me, and it was a lot of things just are coming natural when, talking to people in association. And I just walk into places and I'm just network and it comes natural.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of negative thoughts about how I, represented myself, but they were all wrong. And sometimes you just got to prove yourself wrong.
That's right. Oh, I love that quote. I hope that goes in the book.
Prove yourself wrong.
Yeah, sometimes you got to prove yourself wrong. I love that. I think that's very insightful. Because, it's part of the growing process. Our thoughts can be deceptive. We think we know things. We think something might not be an option. Life is, you get proven wrong a lot of times throughout life. And I've learned that although I feel foolish at first, the next day when I wake up with what I learned, I feel pretty good to be there now.
Yeah, I read a book about it was talking about the building confidence. And a lot of times confidence comes in doing. A lot of things we got to get enough confidence to do something, but you'll only get enough confidence once you start doing it.
That's right.
So motivation, I think is what was it? Action is prior to motivation or something like that, or motivation comes after action. And a lot of us think we need motivation before we can act. And that's one of the biggest things I had to learn.
Absolutely, man.
You just got to do it. And skepticism is normal. Negative thoughts is for normal people. You know why? Because all right, let's say this, right? Let's say back then when we had no lights, there were a lot of animals outside. We lived in caves or we lived in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
If we were happy-go-lucky and we thought nothing in the world would go wrong, we would walk out and get devoured. But skepticism was created for survival.
Yeah.
And that's why we're naturally a little bit more skeptical. Because we needed that to survive. We need to think, all right, if we go up there, we may not live. So skepticism is a survival mechanism people don't realize.
Yeah.
And you can use it for yourself. You got to be skeptical because you can't believe everything you say and everything other people say as well.
That's right.
That's right. So
very insightful. That's very wise, my friend. I like that.
Yeah.
Around this time in the conversation, I usually turn it over to the guest. I like to ask the guest, is there anything that we haven't touched upon yet that's important to you to touch upon? Or do you have any comments for me or for our audience?
So, all right. So if marketing tip number one, all right, I'm gonna give you some marketing tips because this is what saved me. Because a lot of times we have skills, but we don't have the marketing. And all right, so if there's hesitation or confusion, you're lacking somewhere. So you got to find out what knowledge you're lacking. So if there's confusion and if you're not getting results you want to get, that means there's confusion there. So there's a lack of knowledge, and you got to humble yourself enough to say, what am I lacking? So one of the biggest things I was lacking was marketing. Right? And when you're in a business, what you're doing, all right, what's the difference between a self-employed person and a business? A business is a system, right? Self-employed, you just own it. You just own something that creates money. And if you stop working, you don't get the money. But if you're a business, you can use less time, right? So what you want to do is create systems. How are you going to create a system of your business if you don't even know how to predictably create income? So you gotta think, where am I messing up prediction wise to create this income? This is what my thoughts were with the ads and stuff for a long time. I wish I knew some of these things sooner. So I started thinking, all right, what am I missing? It was marketing. And I started thinking, all right, I'm trying to sell this sauce. I'm like, oh, it's low sodium, it's all natural. It sounds great to me, right? I'm selling it for myself. But in reality, you just want to know, all right, is it for me? The customer, that's what the customer wants to know, is it for me? And there's a lot of objections. They're not saying a few things. So you gotta learn. One thing you gotta do is learn how to sell. So you gotta read sales books first, and then you gotta read marketing books first. You gotta learn how to close, and you gotta learn how the customer thinks. And so one big thing that taught me a lot was I went through a Grant Cardone boot camp that taught me how to do sales, how to do my marketing, how to scale everything. I paid like $1,500 for this boot camp. I heavily invested in my education because I knew I had to say I don't know enough. And then I start reading more books. So one book I read is called Building a Story Brand, right? It's called Building a Story Brand. And it teaches you how to think like a customer. You ever read, all right, so you ever like look at a movie and it's critically acclaimed and it's horrible?
Yep.
You know why? Because those experts are so good at movies that they're not thinking like the average person.
Right.
So they do a storyboard that's not for the average person. But the average person wants to see this. They want to see a hero with internal struggles or external struggles that resemble the struggles they may have in our life. If someone has doubt in themselves, how is the hero going to relieve himself of a doubt? What task does he need to prove to himself to relieve it? Right? And then you got things. So pretty much you gotta be like, all right, you probably got a favorite hero. What's your favorite hero you think you resemble the most?
That I resemble the most? Oh, geez. Well, I like Batman a lot, but I don't think I resemble him too much. I was always a big Luke Skywalker guy ever since I was a little boy. I always felt a little bit like him. Or Peter Parker. I relate to him sometimes.
Let's say Luke Skywalker, right? You got Yoda. Yoda is his guide.
That's right.
So Luke was told that he wouldn't be able to learn the Force, right? He was put doubt. So Luke was given doubt. Luke was confused. He did not know what to do. So they had to find a guide. The guy said, you can do it. And the guy gave the person a plan. So that's what you got to do is give your customer a plan. So you got to literally write and give them an idea of how to plan to purchase your book. Like, we don't want to burn calories. The customer does not want to burn calories. How can you make checkout faster? And that's what I had to realize. I had to like make the process faster for them and easier for them. Then let them know, answer all the questions without them knowing the questions are answered. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, what do I put this on? Cauliflower bites, right? You'd be like, oh, I'm vegan. What can I put this on? Cauliflower bites, of course. Fries. You can use this. You can use this in your spaghetti sauce, right? You can use this in your vegan mac and cheese to spice things up a little bit. Let's say you got some vegan chicken products. Let's say you making jackfruit vegan chicken dip. You ever thought about that? Like vegan chicken dip, that'd be great with like buffalo sauce that are actually vegan, that tastes okay. So I started learning how to answer the customer. So I made everything customer centered, and I made it a mission for 3 months to study and learn how to make everything I do about the customer.
That's amazing, man. I definitely need to borrow some of your wisdom for sure for the next stages of my own journey with the book we're about to put out, because you really do, you give wise advice, and it's very much appreciated.
Yeah.
What is the importance of supporting small businesses in today's world?
Well, if you don't want Amazon to totally take over the world, it's very important. So a lot of people order on Amazon. And a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of those products you're purchasing is coming from China, straight from China. Or they buy a big pallet and they keep it in a Amazon warehouse. And, they're paying a hefty fee just to to have the easy purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you purchase from a small business, you're feeding a family.
Yeah.
You're stimulating the economy. You're closing a wealth gap.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, but even with small businesses, we got to start being businesses and not just a self-employment place. We
Mm-hmm.
got to start thinking, all right, let's say I make enough for me, but let's say, Alec, I want to make enough to feed your family too. So what I have to start thinking, like, how much work do I got to create so I can hire Alec
Mm-hmm.
and I can be able to feed his family? And then I also got to start thinking, I got to start scaling everything. So let's say somehow I can't talk and I have no hands the next day, my business will survive or something like that. So you got to start thinking as a small business and also support a small business. Buy two of each product
Mm-hmm.
and give it away to somebody. Like, let's say for me with books, right? There was this nice mental health book I like. It was a black unapologetically uh black guide to mental health.
Mm-hmm.
This book was so good that I bought 20 of these books and gave them out for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want with your books. You want people to buy 20 of them. It's
Right.
so good. I had to buy y'all books.
Right. Absolutely.
And the book spoke to me. You ever heard someone say the book spoke to me?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm an avid reader. I read at least 20 minutes a day, if
Nice.
not an hour a day. So I love books. So if I see a book and I really enjoy it and I think it represents me, I think it's gonna represent someone else and they're really gonna love this character, then I'll buy them a book. I won't even like be like, hey, you want this book? No, just take it. Here you go. So
So that's a good thing you do, man. Like, I support you 100% on that. And I agree. I love that you're talking about us taking care of each other,
yep.
Um, we're coming close to the conclusion.
Okay.
So I would, the question that I have for you, I have two questions. I have two last questions for you. And I think I know the answer to one. In the near future, what is the best way that we can support you and Lost in the Sauce?
Tell a friend about it. And if you get a discount code like Hot Sauce Summer, share it.
Scrolling across the screen right now.
Yep. And I think I gave you a voucher. If you see it, it's like let people try it, let people taste it. If anything ever comes damaged, let me know.
Yeah.
Message us. We will send it out, no question. Even if we can't get money back from it, we're not going to hear about a return policy or nothing like that, or if it what happened. We just want to give you this all so you can enjoy it. It's all about the best thing you can do is enjoy the experience. Let us know how you like the experience. Let us know what other flavors you want. Let us know what other foods you want to add sauce to. We're coming out with a barbecue sauce. I didn't want to tell nobody that, so we got the barbecue sauce soon as well. It's not gonna be keto friendly, but it's gonna be vegan.
All right. All right.
So,
And what about if we want to meet you in person? How can we do that?
uh, I'll be at Cowtown every Saturday. On your account, I think you posted about the AC. We're going to be on the 17th. We're going to be at Atlantic City, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to be at a vegan food festival. Buy your tickets. We're going to be at Atlantic City Vegan Food Festival. And on the 31st and on the 1st of next month, we're going to be at the Taco Festival at the Xfinity Center. So if
Very
you love
nice.
tacos and tequila flights, come check us out.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I definitely hope I can come out, and I
Mm-hmm.
definitely hope people do come
Yeah.
out. And my wife to be, Carrie, is hype about the barbecue sauce. I'm going to put her on here right now. Jamar, we've had such a great conversation, and you've given such great insights into business and marketing and the creative process behind all of it. But before we go, I would like to ask you, especially now that your business is growing, and this is real, this is something that's going to work. Do you have any long-term goals or dreams for the future?
All right. So one thing is, so this year our goal was to make 100K this year. and we may not make it, but we're going to do our best. But next year, we're definitely going to make 100K. We're going to have a catering service next year to do festivals. We're going to focus mainly on festivals, and our goal is to build a big online presence. We might not. I'm thinking about selling on Amazon, but we're most likely going to be in Whole Foods, Wegmans, and Targets and things like that as well. Um, and the main goal is to be able to employ more people. So eventually, we want to have a warehouse, a manufacturing place, and we want to employ more people. We probably want a warehouse on this side of the states, and they want a warehouse on the other side of the states.
Amazing.
And that way, we can say, hey, we can create more jobs and build an economy. I do one day want to have a small business class for kids to teach them, accelerate the the wealth thing. And I will always, if you have any questions, follow me on Lost in the Sauce underscore or LLC. You can find me at Jamar 247. Yep. So it's on just Mar 247 on Instagram. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm not gonna hide any secrets. I'm not gonna gatekeep any information from anybody. I'm just here to share the love. If I can make your success faster, that's what I'm here for, y'all.
That's so good. That's right. Andrew is asking, do you want to send us flyers to take with us to hand out at events? That's one true promotion, going to events.
I would definitely love to hand out vouchers for you guys. I'll have vouchers, and I can send you a bunch of vouchers to give out.
Perfect.
That way, you're just giving out savings. You're giving out discounts.
That's right. That's right. And like I said, One True Promotion is here to lift you up as well. Lift up authors, lift up independent business persons, lift up all of our friends, everybody who comes into contact with us and comes and chats with us here. We're all about lifting you up wherever we go. So
exactly.
So thank you very much for lifting us up as well by gracing us with your presence tonight and giving us another episode. I just love how we can all support each other. And
Absolutely.
I guess like the thing I'd like to end on is with, with all of the, compassionate and community-based goals you've outlined for the night. 10 years from now, let's say 10 years from now, what do you think? Let's go back to the story. What do you think the story of your brand will be?
All right. So the story of the brand would be this. It was a sauce. So a sauce, we couldn't find a sauce that we needed. So we made it. So sauce was created. It was created for the person. It was created for the person, for anybody who's looking for flavor, for anyone who wants to up their meal, their experience, and when they eat. It was made for people for low sodium. It was made for vegans. It was made for people on the keto diet.
Mm-hmm.
It was made to make your food more pleasurable and make your day better.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Folks, your promo code, Hot Sauce Summer, is scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. If you want to get in on some great deals, definitely take down that code. Definitely go and follow at Lost in the Sauce _ LLC on Instagram. And Jamar, thank you again for being here tonight, man. I very much enjoyed this conversation. I do hope you will come again. Drop a Line streams all year long, every Thursday. If you'd like another spot on the calendar, just reach out to me and we will put you right on the calendar. You're always welcome back.
Absolutely. If I ever want to launch a new flavor, maybe. When I get more success that I'm even surprised about, I'll let y'all know. And I'll be like, all right, I just found out something new.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So
this was great. Thank you again for being here. And we wish you the best of luck in the upcoming festival. And we hope to see you again on the show.
Come visit us, Atlantic City, 17th.
Visit 17th Atlantic City. Jamar, you have a great night, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching Drop a Line. We will see you next week.